Hey everybody, Dan from Keystone Wood Specialties, hoping to shed some light on one of the questions that I get asked about the most, and that is our corner hinges for Lazy Susan doors. And in this video we're going to show you how it operates, what you can expect, what you're going to get, and how to assemble and adjust the hinges. The basic operation of the hinge is like this. You have the hinge that connects the two doors together, and then you have the hinges that connect the one door to the cabinet. And the hinge that connects the doors together actually swings both ways. And in its resting state, it has the doors at 90 degrees to each other. And when you go to open the doors, it swings towards the other door to which it's connected. And then when you begin to swing that door open from the cabinet, in order for you to be able to open both doors the whole way, it's going to then swing the other way. So it swings in two different directions, towards the door and away from the door. That's kind of the beauty of how that hinge works. The whole idea is to allow you to get better access to the cabinet that you're trying to get into the Lazy Susan there. And the hinge that connects the cabinet to the door, this isn't our typical hinge that opens approximately 105 degrees. This is a 170 degree hinge that allows both doors to swing further away. If it only swung 105 degrees or so, you wouldn't have as much access as one that swings 170 degrees. One of the things you want to consider when you're planning for your Susan doors is the hinge location. If you look, we have the hinges that connect the doors together, but then we have the hinges that connect one of the doors to the cabinet. And if you look, this is a 170 degree hinge, and it's rather bulky. It's got a big contraption here that can get in the way. And depending on where your Susan shelves are, this might actually interfere with the Susan shelves spinning around. And what you might want to do is on the bottom one, typically the bottom one is the one that has issues, you might want to request that the drilling for that hinge be held up higher so that the Susan shelf won't interfere with this. Same thing could be said for these, but these generally get out of the way when the door is open. It's mainly this lower 170 degree hinge. It's also possible that the upper one could be in the way, but that's just one thing when you're planning and measuring. Make sure you measure for clearance with the Susan shelf. All right, what you'll need for the installation is 2 doors and 4 hinges. And the hinges that you're going to use on the Lazy Susan door application are different than the rest of the hinges on the kitchen. 2 things about these: they don't have soft close, so you just have to be aware of that. And then the other thing that you have to be aware of is that the 170 degree hinges, they go from a minimum overlay of 3/16 of an inch to a maximum overlay of 3/4 of an inch. Which means if you use 1 1/4 overlay hinges on the rest of the kitchen, you do have to be aware that on this application, these doors will only overlay 3/4 maximum. So just be aware of that when you're planning and measuring. These hinges are also clip-top hinges. Both of them are. And with the 170 degree hinges, these get attached to the door, and then these plates get attached to the face frame. And on the 60 degree bifold hinges, which are these, one set gets attached to the door, and then the plates get attached to the other door. And with the 2 doors that we have, if you look, one door will get all of the hinge drillings. It'll get the hinge drillings for the 170 degree hinges, which then attach to the cabinet. And these look like fairly normal hinge drillings. They are 2.5 millimeters from the edge of the door, and they are our standard 3.5 inches up from the bottom. But then on the other side of that same door, you have another set of hinge drillings that's kind of unusual. If you look, the bore actually extends out and goes out past the edge of the door, and that is to receive the 60 degree hinge. And that hinge is designed with a flat spot to help you locate where that goes when you install it. And then what you will do is you will put a hinge plate on the adjacent door to attach the 60-degree hinge. Now we're ready to install the hinges. I'm going to start with the 170-degree hinges, which I'll install in what I call the normal hinge drilling, one that doesn't extend past the edge of the door. Now I'm going to install the 60-degree hinges, which go on the half bore, as we call it, and I'm going to put those on here with it extending past the edge of the door. Now to connect the two doors together, you're going to need to install a hinge plate on the adjacent door. And we do not pre-drill for these, so you will have to locate where they go. It's pretty easy. You'll just need to make sure you center it on where the other hinge goes. I've already pre-drilled these, so I'm ready to go. And now to attach the doors together, it's what we call clip top. I'm simply going to put the hinge in there and then snap it together. You can hear it snap there when it's in, and then it's ready to go. It swings both ways. And we're all set. With the other hinge here, you'll need to attach these plates to the face frame so that you can attach these hinges to them. For the 60-degree bifold hinges, there's 4 adjustment screws that you can use to help align the doors and adjust them. The first one adjusts this door in and out. You can see as I'm adjusting it one way or the other, it adjusts how close it is to the other door. The next one, which is inside this little gap, it's actually attached to the mounting plate. This one actually adjusts the door up and down. And you want to make sure if you're adjusting up and down, you do the top and bottom one in equal increments so there's not a tension with both of them pulling the other direction. This screw adjusts this door in and out this way. So you can see as I'm adjusting that, it brings it in and it brings it out. And then this last screw is what helps open and close the gap between the doors. And you can see it closes it, opens it, and you want it to be fairly tight, but you don't want it so tight that the doors are rubbing, and that's just going to help make it even all the way from top to bottom and help you minimize that. Another thing to consider when connecting the two doors together is where the two doors meet and create that inside corner, you do not want any lip profile there. So when you see your acknowledgement, you're going to see the note that says lip 3 sides. So if you have anything other than a square edge door, let's say you have a C2 lip, you're only going to want that lip on the top, the outside edge, and the bottom of each door. If we would put that lip where the two doors meet, it's going to create a large gap there and a very unusual look. You're actually going to be able to see inside into the cabinet, and so you don't want that. So you'll see the note lip 3 sides, meaning we'll keep that inside edge square. Hopefully that's helpful, and if you have any questions about any of our products, contact our main office line or direct them to info@keystonewood.com.